Will Peter Parker be able to shake the corruption of the Green Goblin, or has Norman Osborn truly set the ultimate trap for the web slinger? Well, let's hop into the pages of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 53 and find out together, shall we? So, I don't know if I brought it up in the previous issue or not, but one of the aspects of Norman Osborn's brand new villainous plot is to actually sign over his entire empire to Peter Parker, even though as it stands, his lawyers, his accountants, and other such assorted Oscorp hangers-on think that Norman is absolutely insane. And I mean, he is insane, he's the Green Goblin. But still, what does all of this mean? We're not exactly sure yet. It's at that moment Norman ends up getting an alert that Peter has entered the building using his keycard. Of course, it's not actually Peter. It's actually Miss Marvel and the other assorted side characters who are here at the behest of the Living Brain, who with Peter's help had seemingly created some sort of Green Goblin contingency. The only problem is that the Living Brain literally does not remember the bulk of this plan, and they don't actually have Spider-Man, meaning this plan is doomed to fail, but they decided, hey, let's try it anyway. Literally, how could this go any way but completely wrong? Now, where is Spider-Man while all of this is going down? Well, you'll remember at the end of the previous issue, he had picked up Kraven's magic spear after briefly being freed from the Goblin's mind control via the Winkler machine, and he vowed to kill Norman Osborn once and for all. Then he just kind of forgot. Now it seems that he's working on some sort of fusion device that incorporates parts from the Winkler machine and the magic spear. Because somehow, someway, this story has backed itself into a magical science problem, so I guess we need a magical science solution, or at least something that incorporates aspects from both disciplines. Now, Norman isn't afraid of this ragtag group of do-gooders who have come to try and do him in. I mean, after all, if Spider-Man couldn't defeat him, what makes Miss Marvel and the others think they can defeat him? And you know what? They don't have a good answer at all. In fact, the Living Brain, the one who was basically directing traffic this whole time, he just ends up exploding out of the blue. Before he does, he says that he has some sort of crystal that might be important later. But he literally just blows up for no reason, meaning that the good guys are left fighting completely blind. It's Wreck-Rap who ends up getting the worst of it right out of the gate, getting himself impaled by the Goblin glider and assumedly being killed. Oh no, not Wreck-Rap. Oh, please, not him. Anyone but him. If something bad happened to this great new character, I just don't know how the book could ever possibly survive without Wreck-Rap. Kamala ends up taking this harder than anyone else, declaring Norman Osborn a murderer, though honestly I'm sure in the back of Miss Marvel's mind she's happy that she's not the one getting killed this time to try and artificially build drama. Also, like, I understand that Miss Marvel is a good person who cares about all sentient life, even if they are weird backwards demon people, but she literally knew Wreck-Rap for 5 minutes? And yet this is supposed to be a big heartbreaking escalation in the story, and yet the whole thing just absolutely falls flat. Kamala fights valiantly against the Green Goblin, but Norman is just too damn good. For a second there, Kamala thinks, hey, maybe I'll borrow some of Dr. Octopus's old arms from Dr. Connors and see how that works. Oh yeah, that's what Miss Marvel really needs, the ability to stretch limbs. Yeah, because that's not something she just couldn't do naturally. It's not like she's gonna be able to stretch any farther or hit any harder. Seriously, was this something the artist just wanted to draw? I mean, if that's the case, I can't fault them. It's a fun image, but at the same time, it feels like this fight scene is really struggling to stretch things out to a full 22 pages. Hell, I'm struggling to stretch out this video as long as I am now that I think about it. Eventually, Spider-Man shows up and he readies himself for the final showdown with the Green Goblin. It's also revealed that Norman apparently has a whole secret facility under this one that we didn't know about, which we only learn about via a conversation between Jameson and Doug Saravanta. Wait, did he always work for Osborn? I thought he worked for Beyond. I mean, I now know he works over with Deadpool in that book. What an odd character to bring back out of the blue for absolutely no reason outside just giving an incredibly small piece of exposition. The Green Goblin drops himself down a hole and challenges Spider-Man to chase after him. Naturally, Kamala and the others want to back Spider-Man up because, that would be the smart thing to do. But naturally, Peter in his infinite wisdom says, no, I have to handle this on my own, and then the hatch door closes behind them because Kraven also came back and now he's threatening the good guys, saying that whatever happens, Spider-Man and the Green Goblin must finish this battle on their own, which again, Kraven is basing this on pretty much nothing. Eventually, Peter corners the Green Goblin and gets ready to use the brand new spear device on Norman, who lets it slip that actually this was always part of his plan. You see, Norman actually wanted Spider-Man to bring him the spear so that the Sins could jump out of the Green Goblin's body and back into Peter. Seriously? Are you friggin' serious? Are we actually doing this? Just let me get this straight. You had the Goblin Sins jump into Spider-Man several arcs ago, then you took them away, then you had Spider-Man brainwashed by the Winkler machine into thinking he was the Green Goblin, but that barely lasted an issue and a half before Chasm's goo fixed him, and now the big reveal is that the plan was always for Norman Sins to jump into Peter's body. I just don't anymore. I really don't. And so that was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 53, everybody, and honestly, what the hell was even this? Just when I think this series can't baffle me anymore with its creative decisions, an issue like this comes along that makes me absolutely reevaluate everything I thought I knew. Once again, Spider-Man is damn near a ghost in the book that bears his name, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Miss Marvel. I like the cadre of fun supporting characters. But sadly, even they end up coming off completely stupid and completely ineffectual. Seriously, they come in so half-cocked, following the directions of a malfunctioning robot, and then they're surprised when they end up losing. It really does feel like at some point Wells said, oh geez, you know what, this arc isn't long enough, I guess we need one more issue in here to help stretch things out. Norman's plan is also incredibly baffling too. I guess the idea is he wants to steal Peter's body and make him into the new Green Goblin. Though I would ask, why now and for what reason? And also, surely there must have been an easier way to get Kraven's magic spear back than to brainwash Peter and send him on some weird wild goose chase. Also, it drives me kind of crazy that the sinister Spider-Goblin is featured on so many of the covers in this arc, yet again we've barely spent any time with this character. And the time we did spend was admittedly pretty damn underwhelming. He didn't really do anything cool or interesting. He was just the Green Goblin in a slightly different hat, wasn't he? Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 4 out of 10. I didn't think anything could disappoint me as much as the previous issue, but hey, you know what? This series never fails when it comes to disappointment. You know, people have asked me why I don't actually rate this book lower than a 4, and the answer is usually 3-1 scores are reserved for books that have like spelling errors or aren't so bad you can't actually tell what's going on or espouse some sort of hateful, repugnant message. So, you know, that's at least 3 things current Amazing Spider-Man doesn't do, so credit where credit is due, I guess. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, you know, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.